guys were supposed to do 7 through 12 on your own. And the things I want you guys to remember are, you're trying to prove that the triangles are similar. One of them's a miniature version of the other one. Even though they may look not that far off from the same size, that's fine. If they're congruent though, they've got to be exactly the same shape and exactly the same sides. You should be able to put one on top of the other if they're congruent, okay? So I did explain to you guys the difference between those two words, similar and congruent. Yep, okay. Now, do you guys notice, let me just kind of quickly go back over these right here. In your notes, can everybody go back to these real quick? I just want to show you something. Okay, we did these already, right? Number 1, were the triangles similar?
No.
No, okay. Triangles were not similar. I did have a pair of vertical angles. Did everybody understand? There were vertical angles in there that were equal to each other. We don't know what they measured at all. We're going to be doing that in the next unit, okay? Right now, you just got to be able to look at a picture and be able to just look and see what is important in that picture, okay? So is everybody able to understand there were vertical angles in them? Yeah. Does everybody see that these two sides were the same measurement on that triangle? On the other one, though, they weren't. They were off by a little bit. Even if they're off by that, just a tiny little bit. If we have a side, an angle, and a side from one triangle, and we can show that the side and an angle and a side from another triangle, if the angles are the same and the sides are proportional, we can prove that the triangles are similar, okay? So you guys said number 1, it was a no, correct? Yeah. All right, number 2, did we prove that the triangles were similar? Yes? FGH, we said. And it had to be that order, correct? FGH. And you guys remember what we used to prove that they were similar? In your notes, what did we do? Yes. And that's side, side, side. Okay? If all the sides...
And don't you do that by taking the biggest to the biggest?
Biggest to the biggest, smallest to the smallest, and then the middle. Make sure that they all set up and they're giving you the same number, whatever that number may be. Yeah? If they do give you that, then that means they're proportional. One's a miniature version of the other. Okay? If one of them's off, though, then it doesn't matter if 2 of them are okay. They all 3 have to be. Okay? All right. So number 2, what I'm getting to is, you guys see these things that I'm using? A side, an angle, and a side. All 3 sides proportional. Okay? This one of the angles was equal. If we have one pair of angles that are equal, and then a side with that angle in between the other side, if those sides are proportional, then that can prove that the triangles are similar. Okay? What did we say about number 3? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes? Okay. What letters did I use?
MDL.
MDL. All right. Does everybody see that in picture number 3 we used vertical angles? There's the vertical angles. And does everybody see there's a side, an angle, and a side of one of the triangles? And we used it with the side, an angle, and a side of the other triangles. Remember, we had to do smaller or larger with the larger and smaller with the smaller when you set up the proportions. If those numbers give you the same decimal, then that meant they were similar. And all we needed was one pair of angles on each one of them to be congruent. But here's the clue. So everybody focus here. That angle had to be sandwiched in between 2 sides that were right next to each other. Does everybody get that part? Because this is what I'm trying to get to, because this is the only thing left for me to make sure you understand. Because then we're basically going to get ready to take the test. Okay? All right. So side and angle and the side, you guys start to see that? Okay. What did we say about number 4? Yes or no? Yes? I didn't do number 4?
Yeah, you did.
I did? Yeah, okay.
I think it's...
And what did we say? Triangle TUV? If you notice in the picture, all they're giving us are little arc marks. This one and this one are the same. This one and this one are the same. That's two angles, right? The third one has to be, there's no other way it can happen. That's called the angle theorem, or another way to call it is called the third angles. Did you put that in your notes?
No.
Okay, put that in your notes. That's called the third angles theorem. If two angles of one triangle are equal to two of another one, that's called the AA, or the angle theorem. The third one has to be equal. Okay? And what I'm trying to get to, guys, put stars on these little letters, because this is the last part of the test. Is do you know how to use these different things that I'm showing you? Okay? This is important. This is important. Okay. All the rest of them that when we finish this packet right here, as we're using these, stop me if there's a part that you didn't get. Okay. So you guys okay with 1 through 4, right? Yeah. Okay. Let me go ahead and move over then to numbers 5 and 6, just to make sure. On numbers 5 and 6, did everybody see that? And on 5 and 6, did everybody see the vertical angles in the number 5? Yeah. Okay. So those. So we got a side. Now notice I don't have any number measurements like for the side lengths. I don't have any number measurements. I do know that this angle though and this angle are vertical, yes?
So there's not enough information to call it.
There's not enough information. Do you see this one has one arc? I can't put one arc right here because I don't know if they're equal to each other. Okay? Over here, this one has 2 arcs, and this one has 3. Those 3 are all different measurements. We just don't know what they measure. The only thing we know is vertical angles are equal, but that's not enough information. If I knew a side, an angle and the sides were proportional to the other one, then yeah. But this one, they are not. Yeah. Number 6. Make sure on number 6, did everybody notice there's a little triangle inside of the big triangle? You got to be able to separate them. So I'm just going to highlight the little one in red. And I'm just going to draw it separately. Everything still is labeled with the same letters. And notice it's in the same orientation as the original picture. The other triangle that you got to focus on is the green one. So does everybody see the green one is the whole thing? Yep. So the green one, that one is a little bit tricky because your eyes can deceive you here. From K to the letter L, does everybody see there's a number that represents all that length? And that's the number 88. Everybody see it in the picture? Okay. Don't let this little piece throw you off, because this piece here from B to L is missing. Don't let that throw you off. You're comparing the little one to the big one, okay? That piece is 88. Do you see that you're going to have to do a little bit of addition for all of K through M? K through M is not 107. Does everybody understand? It's how much actually? 132. It's 25 plus the 107 added up together. That's where the 132 is coming from. And then take a look at this real quick. Does everybody agree that that angle that I'm shading in red is the exact same one on both of those? Mm-hmm. So I know that those angles are equal. They're not vertical. I just know because one of them's on top of the other one. It's the exact same angle. Does everybody see this? Side an angle and
Side.
side. So now check, is the other one have the side? The angle has to be in between those two sides. If it's not, you can't use side angle side, okay? All right, so when you see that, do you guys understand? You got to check that the sides are proportional. And you could write 16/25, and you notice you wrote the smaller side over the bigger number that you have. So you'd have to set it equal to what? Which one is this? The 88 is the smaller one than the 132. And does everybody notice that those sides are just corresponding to each other? Yeah? And then if the decimal comes out to be the same value on both sides, then those triangles are proportional. What did we say on number 6 if they were or not? They weren't? They're not? Okay. That means when we wrote 16/25 and 88/132, however you do it, you could cross multiply if you wanted to.
Yeah, couldn't you do 16 and 88, 25 and 132?
Yep, you could also done 16 and 88, and that's a good point I want to make. 25 and 132. This, you could have set it up like that. You could have set it up like this. Let's see.
And then isn't it still all division?
They're all still going to give you the same values. Do you notice that the 16 and the 132 are still going to multiply with each other? And what does the 16 and with the 132 multiply together?
2,112.
2,112. And then what did the 88 and the 25 give you? 2,200? Is that right? 2,200? Yeah. You notice over here, we set it up different. We're multiplying the exact same numbers, Tempo. And these two numbers, does everybody agree? They are not equal to each other. So since they're not, that means they're not proportional. One of them is not a miniature of the other. And when I say proportional, you guys have seen the Hot Wheels car. Here, let me bring my little toy. So this is a remote control car. And does everybody see that the tires are proportional to the body of the vehicle? If this was a real life, dirt vehicle, the tires would still be proportional to the rest of the body? Yeah? Okay. So when things are proportional, it's because all the sides are proportional to each other, not just one part of it. I'll give you an example of an extreme dilation. I don't know if any of you guys have ever been to Knott's Berry Farm. Have you guys been to Knott's Berry Farm? Yeah? You ever see the miniature, they do the big head with the little body? That's not proportional because the big head should be proportional to the body of that. Okay? All right. You're going to need your handout from last time. So it should be you should have it because there should have been work that you should have done, okay? All right, so just keep in mind proportionals, miniature versions of something, yeah? Okay. And you think about all the toys that you guys had, Hot Wheels, Girls with the Barbies. Those are just miniatures, yeah? Okay. All right, so just to kind of go back to this one, do you guys see that this one was sine angle, side for number 6? Yeah? And then number 5, there was nothing there that gave us information, okay? Right, so we're going to move on to number 7 and 8. All right, so do me a favor, if you haven't done number 7, I'm going to give you a minute on number 7 right now. All right, in number 7, does everybody, I haven't done anything, but did you notice, did they give you any angles or anything indicating anything about angles? Nothing. The only thing they're giving you are numbers on the sides, right? So those are side lengths. Angle measurements and side lengths are not the same thing, okay? They are related I don't know if you remember, the bigger the angle of a triangle or of a figure is, the side opposite it also is bigger. The smaller the angle is, the opposite side to it is smaller too. Okay? The only thing I can do on number 7 is S. That's side, side, side. If all the sides are proportional, then I can prove that those triangles are similar. So, since I have the big one on the top, just put it in some order, either smallest to biggest or biggest to smallest. And it doesn't matter which order you pick. So I'm just going to say 84, 70, and 42. When I write them over a number, I have to use the corresponding
The
side.
biggest with the biggest.
Right.
And the smallest.
So what would be over the 84?
30,
70?
25,
Okay. And 42?
15.
Okay, do the division of those numbers, you're going to get some decimal, okay? 2.8 for all of them. Can everybody double check? Do they all give you 2.8? Yes? Make sure all three, because if one of them doesn't, then we can't say that they're similar. But if they all do, that means they are similar.
Yeah.
Okay, so then these triangles, now remember this is the last part. You can't just throw whatever letters there, yeah? So if you're not sure how I'm figuring out how to do this, go to T, U, and B. Notice T is opposite the biggest, smallest, or the middle side? Biggest. So you need to go to the other triangle and look for the biggest side. And the angle opposite, that's the first letter that you should write. That make sense? Okay, what letter should I write next?
That's
Okay, so they wrote U, and it's opposite the smallest, right? So opposite the smallest side is which angle? R. Does that make sense right there, why I'm going to put an R? Yeah. And the only letter left then is the letter S. Yeah, S. Yes, you could have said S, R, Q. Those two are the same thing, yes. For the start here, since this is basically the last thing I need to teach you is how am I actually proving that they are similar? And it's because sides were all proportional. Now, what if I didn't use 84, 70, and 42 in that order? You could flip these all around and you could have said 30, 25, and 15, and then just put the other numbers right underneath them. The decimal just would have been smaller. They just all would have been the same decimal. Yeah. All right, everybody okay on put a start here that you know how to do this and you understand what I'm doing, because that's my main key. Because if not, I haven't taught you how this unit correctly. Okay? But if you are getting it, you're pretty much good. Yeah? Okay, I'm not trying to rush things, okay? So don't, I'm going too fast for some of you, so we have. But because you guys are getting this, we're just kind of moving a little bit quicker than I thought, which is good. Okay? Just please make sure I'm not going faster than you're actually getting. If you're not getting it, I'm just moving without any reason. Okay?
number 8.
All right, number 8. Everybody, just take 30 seconds, see if you can figure something out, and then you're gonna give me some info. Yeah? 30 seconds. Okay? All right. This is one of them. Triangle with those 3 dots. That's one of them. Yeah. That one arc that's marked, this one right here, there's no other arc on the other side of the triangle that tells us that this one, because it's the only one that doesn't have any mark, are the same. And then we got these two over here, G, that angle has 3 arcs, but the other 2 that are missing over here don't have any marks. You can't state that, because 2 that are different over here are the same as 1 that's different from those. So this one would be, no, not enough information. Okay? All right. I can't use side, side, side. Does everybody see why I can't do side, side, side? I don't even have any sides. Yeah. I do know one thing, and there's only one thing that you can say true in this picture. Vertical angles, that's it. That's the only thing you can state that is true. If the question asked you, okay, tell me anything that you observed from the picture, you could tell me vertical angles. Can you do me a favor? I want to test you. Can you write down what are the letters that would make those angles? Let's see if you can write down the letters. So you're going to have to write angle 3 letters is congruent to angle 3 other letters. See if you can do that real quick. If you mess up, it's okay. All right, good. If you wrote it down already, just give me about 10 seconds, okay? Wherever you're at. Justin, what letters did you pick?
I wrote down F, E, G.
Okay, F, E, G,
C, E, B.
C, E, B. Now, everybody see the letters that are written right now? Okay, here's how you check. Go to F, then the E, and then the G. Do you notice E is in the middle? F, E, G. The letter that's in the middle, that's where the angle is that you're talking about. Does that make sense? Yeah? And then you said C, E, B. Notice E is in the middle again. So you said C, E, and B. Those are your vertical angles. Perfect. You could have written them G, E, F also on this side, and B, E, C. Or switch them. You could have said C, E, B with G, E, F. That would have been fine. Okay. But, big fact, no, you cannot prove that because you understand vertical angles is not enough. You would need a side, an angle, and a side right in between, sandwiching that angle with the other triangle, and then yeah, you could do it. Don't have any side measurements at all. Okay. Everybody okay on that one? We cannot prove that those triangles are similar. And you guys understand this symbol right here? It's being written like a little sideways S right there. Not congruent. Similar. This one is congruent. That one has the 2 equal signs in it. Okay. Remember the difference between the 2. Okay. All right. All right. Do me a favor. Everybody, go to number 9. Give me a minute. If you haven't finished it, just try to set something up. All right. Okay. Now the picture, once you look at the picture, hopefully what I'm getting you in the habit of doing is look at the picture first, see if there's anything that you know for sure already guaranteed. Okay?
Angle G and T are the same. I mean, there's 2 right angles.
All right, angle G, and you can state angle G because it's not in between 2 pictures. You can't say angle H because it actually refers to 2 different angles. Yeah. But you could say angle G. You could also state it FGH if you wanted to. Yeah. But angle G is congruent to angle C.
And then there's 2 right angles in the middle.
Are you talking about these 2 right here?
Yeah,
Now I don't know if they're right angles yet,
but they're vertical.
but they're vertical, so they are the same. That's for sure. If they were right, they would measure 90 degrees.
And
So, but you notice they don't have the little box right there that would have made them 90.
you
But
gotta,
no matter what, you saw that they were vertical, right? Okay.
you gotta do AA.
Yep. This one is A. And now you can state, do you see now the work I'm showing is starting to get a little less? Because now you understand side angle side, AA, SSS, yeah? Those are the 3 keys, those 3, yeah? So this one is angle theorem, and you would state that, okay? So put a star here, because you gotta make sure you're stating that, okay? That's me knowing that you understand the third angles that's missing have to be, yeah? So now you gotta put the correct letters. HTS, so let's make sure, H, T, and S. G should match with T. So G and T are both, notice they're in the middle, yeah? And does everybody agree H and H is the same one on both sides because they revert?
So I think
F,
it'll be a-
yeah, F and S have to be at the end, yeah? You get the hang of how that lettering, if you write it incorrectly, because let's say you would have did this, T, S, H, for example. I have to mark that wrong, okay? I have to mark it wrong, because that's telling me you're saying angle T and H are the same, and that's not true. So that's the part that I don't want to ding you on the test for making that error, okay? But you getting the hang of that though? Yeah, that's why we're doing so many, so that none of these are mistakes, okay? All right. All right, everybody take a look at number 9 then, we're okay, why it's HTS. You could have, no, you couldn't have said STH. Do you see why you couldn't have said STH? Because S and H then would then be considered congruent because you're using the triangle. Yeah? Okay. All right. Number 10, does everybody see it already? You already got something done? Side angle side? All right, side, here's an angle, here's a side. So that's sandwiched, yes?
Yes.
All right, so now just check that the sides are proportional. Side, an angle, and a side. So now you got to check.
To the same.
If I write 9 over 18, I would have to set 9 over 18 equal to what?
42 over 9.
Notice
42 over 21.
Notice
21 over 42.
Yeah, the smaller over the
Bigger.
bigger. Does that make sense?
It's 2.33.
And it's 2.33 for both of them? And you would have to show me that though.
Angle W, U, V.
Angle triangle. W, U, V. So now let's make sure. F, notice F is 76, that angle?
Mm-hmm.
That angle has to match with, actually, F has to match with U, doesn't it? Yeah? F has to match with U. So I have to fix that. Now, here's how you figure out the other two. Since 21 is the smaller side, 21 is opposite the letter G. That's where this angle is. That's the smaller angle. So keep that in mind. They said F, G, H. So then you need to go U, and then the smaller side is 9 out of 8, 9 and 18, right?
UWV.
U, not UWV, UVW. So watch real quick. Notice it originally said F, G, and H, right? F is the 76 angle, right? So whatever you choose on the other triangle, on the other writing, has to match that angle 76. So that's why we have to use U first. Does that make sense? Yeah. And then the next letter that they chose was the letter G. And does everybody notice that the letter G is opposite the smallest out of the two sides that were given? So we got to go to the smallest out of the two on the other one. And that's why we used V. Yeah? Really important that you got to make sure you get that ordered out, because then I have to mark it wrong. And really, if I tell you on a test, go back and double check something, I can't keep telling you how many chances to keep rewriting that, because eventually you're going to figure it out. There's only 3 letters. Yeah? So I can only give you a certain amount of opportunity. If I do tell you, I'll go back and check that. Yeah. Number 11, do you see you got to look at the little triangle and then compare it to the big one in the picture? So some of you, it might help you to like kind of redraw it a little bit. So for number 11, F, R, and S. And then this side is 44.
Yeah, but you can also find out those
Right.
other two sides.
Yes. Well, tell me the two letters of one of the sides that you're thinking about.
F and R.
F and R? Yes.
You take 91 and subtract it from 143 and you get 52.
Okay, that's how you're going to get F to R. Does everybody agree? All right, how would I get F to S?
Subtract 56 from 88.
Perfect. Go ahead and put that on your...
32.
All right, so you got, this one is 32, you said?
Yeah.
Okay. And what's this one over here?
52.
All
And then
right.
you have all three angles, or all three sides, it's both sides.
Okay, so we got all the numbers now. All right, so F to R is 52. So I can fill that in because it's the little one, yeah? And F to S is 32. I have all three sides here. Do I have all three sides on the other triangle?
Yes.
So what would be the theorem that we could use? Side angle side?
Side.
Side. Please put a star there. Now the only thing you got to make sure is that they're proportional. Okay? Yeah?
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to draw the picture of the bigger triangle real quick. Just before I forget. All right, so I've got all the sides. So let me see if you guys are with me here. What if I do this? 32.
And they're all equal.
All right, what number would I put under the 32 since I wrote it this way?
88, 121, and 143.
And does everybody see I did the smaller to the larger on the small figure, so I got to use smaller to the larger on the big figure?
They're up to 2.75.
All right. Now, if you do 88 over 32, that's 2.75, right? If you do 32 over A, what would it be? 32 divided by 88?
0.36.
0.36, which means they would all be 0.36, and the other way was what number?
2.7.
2.75 if you did the bigger numbers on top and the smaller ones on the bottom. Yeah. As long as they're all giving you that same number, then you can say now, because side, they're all proportional, then we can prove that they are similar. So let's fill in this part right here now.
FRS.
FRS, triangle. Okay, don't forget that's a little triangle symbol. F has to match with F. Does everybody see that's the angle right there? You notice we also could have done side, angle side,
Yeah, but
but we know that angle F is the same on both.
Yeah.
Yeah. You see, we could have done two different ways, but you chose side, which was fun. We could have also done then side, angle side on this one. We could have done two different ways to prove it. Yeah. And does everybody see? I have all the sides, and I have one angle. Yeah. It's always easier to check if all the sides are proportional because it's easy to set that up a little quicker. Okay. And maybe you guys didn't see side angle side, but do you see it now?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So you gotta don't let your eyes deceive you in the picture because that's the thing. This is the thing about dilatation. So everybody look at my wall over here. I know I didn't do a great job here. But can you kind of get what I was trying to shoot for? I was trying to shoot for depth in the wall. You see it a little bit? Yeah? Okay. That's the thing about this unit. It's giving you pictures that might deceive you a little bit. So you got to be able to look at everything carefully and see exactly how it's supposed to be. Can everybody kind of get an idea that everything's kind of supposed to...
It has a vanishing point.
A vanishing point? It's a good word, vanishing point. Yeah? All right. Everything really, if you look at it, was centered somewhere around here because everything is going in that direction. Yeah? Okay. That's the thing about this unit. So once you guys get the hang of this, unit 4 is probably going to feel pretty darn easy because this is critical right here. And I think everybody in here seems to be understanding it. Yeah? Okay. Oh, I forgot to finish this. You said F, what else? RS? Okay. Let's make sure. F R, so F match R. Take a look real quick at the picture of that, what I did real quick. Does everybody see F? I only put one R. And for where R is, it's FRS. That angle I put two R's fit. You notice that these would be corresponding angles if lines were parallel? Okay. So now you guys got to remember, if you know in the picture that they draw parallel lines, you guys should be able to identify corresponding angles, alternate interior angles, same side interior angles, all those other things that we also look to. Don't forget vertical angles because they're always going to be wherever two lines intersect. Okay. I think everybody's gotten the hang of vertical angles. Okay. All right, number 12. Side angle side, so let's check that side. Notice the angle is in between the next side that's going to come. Side, an angle, and a side. So now you got to check are the sides proportional. Do the angles have the same markings? Is the number of marks the same? Yeah. All right. So if they were not the same, then right there you couldn't do that side angle side. Okay. Now you don't know what that angle measures. It doesn't matter. So y'all can do it. Okay. So everybody check the sides real quick. Let's say I write 10 over 9. What do you think I have to set it equal to? You see I'm doing bigger over the smaller on one of them. So you got to do bigger over the smaller on the other one.
That way.
This way gives you what?
1.1.
Is it the same on both?
Yes.
Yes? Okay.
If you do 10 over 30 and 10 over 27.
Okay, let me write that down real quick. 10 over 30. That's the bigger one, the big ones over each other. Now notice you did the 10 first, so you have to do 9. So 9 over the 27. 0.33. And notice it didn't matter which way you set up the sides, as long as you kept them corresponding to each other. Yeah? Whatever those numbers are, if they're the same, then your sides are proportional. Okay? But if you accidentally do something like this, you write 9 over 10 equal to 30 over 27, that would cause a mistake. Because you're doing a smaller over a bigger, but then over here you do the bigger over the smaller. You're not following the proportion rule. Okay? And that's when you start getting the knots very far away. Big and small body. Okay. So far, okay. We gotta finish this part. What there did we say here?
Side
Angle, side. Make sure we're stating that. I'll put it on all of them, but I'm just trying to remind you guys. Okay. What are the letters? TUV is already given. C has to go first because C and C.
CDE.
CDE. D is angle D is opposite the smaller of the two sides, yeah?
Yeah.
So the smaller of the two was 27, so it should be U, so yeah. C, D, E. You guys see how I'm making sure that smaller angles always opposite smallest side? Okay. Okay. Any questions right there on that part? No? Okay. So does everybody understand that you guys can finish 13th or 16th pretty quickly now? Yeah. Okay, let's move to the harder ones. Let's go to number 17. We're going to do 17 together, okay? So it says solve for x. The instructions are telling you, please underline this or circle it. They're telling you that the triangles are already similar. You don't have to prove it. It's already given to you. So now, 11x minus 4 and 70. These are our given numbers, okay? Now, one thing I messed up here. Remember what I kept stressing about the order of the letters? I forgot to put it in here because that's how you know which sides go to which. So I messed up right here.
And I don't think we went over 13 or 14 either of any of those.
Okay, let me go
Like
back.
it says find the missing link.
So you're gonna guess 1 through 10 on this page right now. We'll go over those answers, and then the last two problems at the end, we're gonna solve. So let's see if you can figure out, is it angle-angle theorem, side-angle-side theorem, or side-side-side, or maybe that they are not similar triangles. It is possible that they can be similar triangles. Okay. All right. So take about 3 or 4 minutes for that. All right, here we go. For number 1, what do you guys think? C, correct. C is correct. Angle, and there was vertical angles, yes? So these two are equal to each other, and vertical angles are equal to each other. So 2 from one triangle and 2 from another automatically will let you prove that they are similar. Yeah? Okay. How about number 2? Correct is B. Vertical angles are in there, and you got 2 68 angles, so there's 2 from one and 2 from another. Yeah. Okay. Was that pretty easy? Those two. Yeah. Okay. All right. Number 3. What do you think? Number 3 is A. There's 2 angles here, and did you guys see that 41? Is actually in the big one and the small one. So 41 will be angle-angle. Number 4, what do you think? 41A. These two that are corresponding are not equal to each other. If they would have been equal to each other, then we could have used angle-angle there, but correct answer is A. They're not similar triangles. I know one pair is the angle that is right there. That's congruent to itself on the small one and the big one. These two are not, and I don't know what the other one is. So those are not similar. So number 5, what do you guys think? D? Side, side, side. Now, you have to make sure, if I do 6, 6, 6, I have to write it over what? Which one would I have to set it over? 306. And then 7, 7, 7 would have to be over what?
527.
527?
No, 358.
358. And then 1147 would have to be over 527. And they all give you the same value? Yeah. What number did they give you? Okay. 666 divided by 306.
0.21.
666 divided by 306. 0.21.
2.18.
2.18.
And they're all 2.18. I did 2.170.
That's what I got to.
Okay. So I need to check the first one.
It's 2.17.
Now number 666 divided by 3.6, I get 2.176. When I do 777 divided by 3.58, you guys get 2.170. Can everybody check it? I get 2.17039. Yeah? Yep. So
2.1764705.
okay. So right now, I got two, they're pretty darn close to each other, aren't they? That's not, they have to be exact. They have to be exact. So even if they're that close, because 1147, when I divide it by 528, I get 2.172. What is it? Oh, 527?
Yeah, it's about
Okay, so right there. 1147 divided by 2.1764. I think that was matched over here. Yep. This one though it doesn't match, so they're not similar. Does everybody understand that they're not similar? Even they were so close. Two of them actually were the same. This one was 2.1764, which is what this one was. Those two were the same, but the third one was close to it, but just close is not enough. They have to be all the same. So do you understand why number 5, they're not similar? They were so close, just not close enough. Yeah. How about number 6? Number 6 is, see, there are vertical angles, yeah? But I don't have any other information that can help me for number 6.
Not similar.
Not similar. One pair of vertical angles is not enough. I needed some proportional sides maybe there. A side angle side or side 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 would help. Had I had one more angle though, besides the vertical angles, had I had one more angle out of each one of them that were congruent, then I could have used angle. You know, but I can't. All right. All right. So everybody okay right there? All right. Number 7. What do you guys think? D. Similar side angle side. So let's check. This angle right here is congruent to the small one and the large one. So, and we have this side. Could I find this side right here?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's going to be 1,000 minus 580, right? Okay. And I could set up 546 over 1,300 and 1,000 minus 580, 420 over 1,000, and I just have to make sure that those are the same. So I get a 0.42. 546 divided by 1,300, 0.42. So you guys had said which one? D? Side angle side?
Yeah.
Correct. Everybody okay with number 7? Number 8, all sides are given, so it'd have to be side, 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 but you got to make sure, check that they're all proportional. So I'm just going to write 1,034 over 1,598 over 21.5. 1,034. What should I put it on? What number should I put underneath it? 462. And what about 1,598? 14. And then 945. If all those numbers are the same, then then I can say side, side, side. So just do me a favor, check them real quick. .238. Yep. 2.238. So then you can state Side, side, side. Alright, number 9, what do you think? A? Side, side, side?
Or
We can, B would be good because you're gonna have a side. That angle's already congruent to both of the little one and the big one. So you could use side angle side on that one, yeah?
but can't you do side, side, side?
Could we do side, side? The only thing that's missing is we don't know this length on the big one, and we don't know this one on the small one.
Oh.
If we knew that they were right angles though, we could use Pythagorean theorem to find the missing side, and then yeah, you could use side, side, side. Yeah. But for right now, I noticed why you wouldn't use side, side, side then. You'd have to use side angle side. Yeah. And then you just have to make sure 140 over, what number do you think I would write? 140 over 266. Now this one's tricky. Everybody look at this one. I wrote 140 over 266, right? Be careful what you set it equal to on the other side. You have to use the whole side. You have to add it. Yeah?
So it's 680.
So it'd be 680 over what?
1,300 and something.
1,300 and
252.
200. Everybody see how you couldn't set it up 140 over 266 equal to 540 over 1,026? Remember, you're setting up the ratio of the big triangle to the little one, yeah? 140 divided by 266 is 0.526, and 680 divided by 1292 is, oh yeah. So that would be side angle side right there. All right, number 10 should be fairly quick then. What do you think for number 10? Angle, angle. Now real quick, I know this angle is congruent to the little triangle and the big one, but these that are corresponding, they're not the same, so then that would be D. They're not similar. That one kind of threw us off. We didn't look at the, make sure the numbers were both equal. Yeah. Okay. Let me. I made the same mistake on these too. I did on all of them. All right, so just scratch all those because it's really important that I had given you guys those statements. So we're going to go ahead and finish today. That means the next class, I'm going to give you, there's going to be a review. Okay? So I need to give you the review before you leave, though.
All of them overdone.
So that means the next time you guys come,